then we keep trying to, we ruminate over, we're trying to get these things done. For instance, the 1 is always trying to be perfect enough. You know, there's a flaw here, and I got to make it better. You know, that's the kind of, and again, you know, these things can be very good, but anything done to excess can cause an issue. So it's a good thing. It's just we don't want to do too much of it. Because if I think that my way is the only right way, then what about everybody else? You know, everybody else can suffer from that. Number 2, not helpful enough. You know, sometimes what happens with the 2 is they might have parents who think that, you know, in order to be good, you have to be giving. You have to always give to them, you know. And the 2 will develop because they'll know that whenever they gave something, they got kind of a pat on the back for it, you know. And what happens is the 2 can do so much of that sometimes that they end up giving themselves away. You know, a lot of women probably, you know, give so much to their families, and they short themselves in the process, and then, you know, they get burnt out and depressed or whatever, and it's too much. So taking care of the self is important for you to learn how to take time out for yourself. You know, in an airplane, they say when you get on, make sure you put the mask on first before you put it on your baby if the plane goes down, you know. And that's what a 2 needs to remember, you know, take care of yourself, nurture yourself. Because without you taking care of yourself, you really don't have much left to give. And you hurt yourself and everybody else in the process. So that's what's important for 2. Helpful to yourself as much as others. If you can do that, then you got to make it. Number 3, not successful enough. You know, climbing the corporate ladder. Always got to do better. You know, again, that type A personality, overachiever. The 4 doesn't think they're unique or special enough, so they try to be real creative, come up with something different. You know? They want to be authentic. They want to be original. They want to be kind of special. They don't want to fit in a box. You know? And I could say I have a lot of that in me. You know, I'm kind of a rebel. I don't really like fitting in a box. I want to be free, and emotional self-expression is very important to me. So you know, I can identify with the 4. What happens with 4 of those, they can get stuck in that, you know, trying to be too, you know, being eccentric, get stuck up, go too far with it. Number 5 is trying to be smart enough. I have a lot of that in my Enneagram too. I think a lot of us in this society do, especially today, in the technology age. You know, I had to get out of the field. I was in computers for 20 years, and I knew all the answers. You know, everybody come to me for it. But you know, when you get to be like 45, 50, you can't think like you used to. My brain was getting clouded.
You feel like a dinosaur too.
Yeah, exactly. And they were hiring kids out of college that were, you know, half my age, that were, you know, had better mental capacity. So I'm glad that I was able to let that go and start to move back into my heart space. And you know, that's what I love about this work, is it gives me a chance to kind of integrate part of my personality that I didn't get to do before. It's more personal. Number 6, not safe enough. And, you know, the 6 is like the belt and suspenders. You know? You want to be able to make sure that everything is going to be okay. And, you know, again, that's going to be very good. You know, disaster recovery work or things like that, where you want to know how to recover in advance. But we just want to make sure that we don't get so focused on that we never feel safe. 7, again, is looking to fill up, not full enough. There's always that something missing, that feeling of deprivation, I guess is a good way to phrase it. The enthusiast. They want to keep themselves preoccupied because they can't stand that feeling of deprivation that they feel if they're not busy. Russ and Don called it the psychic pinwheel, where they kept kept this thing going all the time, you know, and they had to keep it going, because if they didn't, then all this stuff would come up from underneath. Number 8, not strong enough. So the 8 is very assertive. They're pushers. You know, they're very competitive type. They want to win. And again, you know, that's great for somebody like you know, a general in World War II, for instance. You need somebody like that. You need a George Patton or somebody who can really get people moving in order to you know, run armies and things like that. And lastly, not unified enough. The 9 is afraid of disconnection. The 9 wants everybody to get along and be at peace. And that's why I say, you know, my father was such an antagonist with me, because it was just, you know, he wanted to win, and I wanted everybody to get along. You know, if you didn't do it his way, then you were sunk. So, you know, the 9 doesn't like that tense atmosphere. I get very uneasy. So the 9 is looking for unification, peace and unification. This is a little redundant. You know, we just pretty much went over those. You know, you could call these preoccupations or ruminations. We just, you know, these are the loops that we get stuck in. In the Enneagram, there's what's called the wings. Okay, and a wing is, see, these are all the points, like this is number 1, 2, 3, 4. Each number has a number to the left and to the right of it. And those are called the wings. So for instance, for a type 2, you can have a 1 wing or a 3 wing. And the type 2 with a 1 wing is a combination of the 2 with a lot of the 1 energy. So 2 with a 1 wing will be called the servant. And on the other side, the 2 with the 3 wing is called the host or the hostess. So you can see there's a slight difference in the focus, because the 2 with the 3 wing is incorporating more politics, I guess, into it. More of that 3-ishness. So, you know, you take on more of one side or the other. And by the way, you can take on a little bit of both. Some people have both wings. I tend to be a 9 with a 1 wing, which is the dreamer.